back to Hawk Talk, folks. We're here in the softball locker room with Coach Fleury. Coach, successful weekend at home, but before we get into that, we've had about 30 games this season and a pretty exciting end to last season since we've last talked with you. So if you want to kind of give us a quick overview of all that's happened in DSU softball the last couple of months or so.
Well, we didn't start how we wanted to. We went down to Aberdeen and played in their dome, and we, came back 1-3, and not 1-3 because we played well and we just lost some close games. We weren't ready to play. As coaches, as players, as a whole new team coming in, we obviously had some high expectations right away, and we didn't man up to those, and so it was tough. It was as coaches we had to regroup and refocus and go back to the drawing board, if you want to call it, and kind of figure out the things that worked, the things that didn't work, where we need to make the changes. So then we went on to Minneapolis and we played in another dome out there, and we played a lot better that weekend after we made some changes, and we went 3-1. So we were pretty happy with that. We lost a close game to a good pitcher at Bemidji State who had 16 strikeouts against us, but she was back-to-back Northern Sun Player of the Week, so we couldn't complain there. Losing a close one to them. It was a pitcher's duel. Alex Watson threw well, and we went to Arizona. First time out on dirt. Sure. A lot of parents there the first day, and back to day one. Wasn't pretty. We dropped 2 games by large deficits, but then after that we regrouped and we got 15 in a row after that. So it was good to see the kids kind of come into their own and start playing well, and I think that comes with we are a young team. We're starting 5-6 freshmen any given game, and that's the minimum. So the kids have learned to kind of play together, learn each other's weaknesses and strengths, and us as coaches as well. So it's been a fun ride so far, but obviously conference started, and that's kind of where we need to keep our focus and work for that conference championship.
Sure, this last weekend at home against Presentation, got down early and stayed down for a while in that first game. So take us through that comeback and what turned into a pretty successful weekend.
Well, I think, kind of like anything, we started the first games of the season. We had our first game jitters. We started our first game in Arizona. Mom and Dad and all our fans were there. We had some jitters. Well, then this was our first game here at home. We had students, we had teachers, we had fans. We had a good crowd. So I think there was some home field jitters there, and the kids wanted to go out and probably impress too much instead of just play their game. Sometimes I, as a coach, enjoy coming back here because we get rid of families and parents. Sure. And stuff like that to get those pressures off, but obviously don't take that in the wrong way. I'd love to have the families and stuff there, but so I think we kind of had some of those that first game, and pressing too much. We didn't get any offense from anybody in our lineup, but Morgan Lowe was able to step up big for us and get 2 big hits with 2 outs and score 4 RBIs for us, and then we were able to win it in the bottom of the 7th.
Now, looking ahead to this weekend, pretty big conference matchup. Team tied for first with us in the North Star. Take us through what that's looking like. And
huge conference matchup with Valley City. We were able to see them. Well, we played them our first game of the season, and like I said before, for us it wasn't pretty. For them, it probably was great. They turned around and beat us 7-5 after we took a 4-0 lead in the first inning. And then on that weekend, we did come back and beat them 4-3. But both great teams. They've been playing well as of lately, so they're gonna come out and want to beat us, and vice versa. We're gonna want to do the same thing. So we just have to. Our pitchers have to make sure they keep their batters off balance, move the ball. They got some kids that can hit the ball well and hit it far and hit it hard. So as long as we keep their pitchers off balance, or their batters off balance, I think we can definitely get to their pitching with our offense. But it's tough to play a team 4 times in a weekend. So we gotta play game 1, play game 2, play game 3, then play game 4.
Now this would be the second opportunity for the local fans to catch some of the action. So for those who may not have been able to get out this last weekend, explain some of the returners we have who are definitely continuing their legacy here. We had a Player of the Week this last week, but also introduce some of the new faces that they may see out there.
Well, we got Alex Vargas. She played shortstop for us for 3 years. She's now playing second base. She was NAIA Player of the Week, so she's been huge for us. She has 45 RBIs on the season. She's on the way to break her own record of RBIs in the season, so she's definitely our horse in the lineup in the 3 spot. Last weekend in 4 games, she had 4 home runs with the wind blowing 30 miles an hour straight to right field. So she, can't say the wind was a factor. I think she would have had a few more if the wind wasn't blowing. But she's definitely fun to watch at the plate. Then we have Brianna Grayson, who's a junior for us. She's our 4 batter. She stepped into that role, tremendously. She hit 6-7 for us last year, and she's had to step up into that 4 spot. And she's either behind the plate catching our pitchers or at first base. Alex Watson, who a couple weeks ago was North Star Player of the Week on the mound for us, is a sophomore. She sat behind Regan Lawrence last year and got a lot of innings in, but also, Regan took the majority of our innings. So Alex has definitely stepped into that role as our #1 pitcher, and she's leading the conference in strikeouts right now and has 70 innings pitched, has 100 strikeouts, and so she's definitely fun to watch. She zips the ball, and hopefully she can keep it down. Otherwise, sometimes it goes over the fence. But and then Mackenzie Kanabi, our little leadoff kid center fielder, she's a junior, and she's had a tremendous year for us so far. And she's quick, fast. She finds a way to get on base if she's beating out a bunt or hitting a single in the gap. So. A lot of returners that have stepped up for us, but then also we talk about freshmen. We have a freshman, Abby Brooks, who's a pitcher. She just goes out there and does her job and throws and gets outs for us. And then we have a junior third baseman, Mackenzie Bassett, who transferred from Dawson Community College last year. Freshman, who when Grayson's not catching, we have freshman Brenda Cruz catching, who's also been swinging the bat well. So. A lot of new kids, we try to do a lot of different things. We have 17 kids on the team, and I mean, it's not unusual for all 17 to play in a game. If it's DP coming in for a pitch hit or running, pitching, some sort. So you'll have an opportunity to see all the kids play.
Awesome. Encourage everyone to get out there this weekend. Might be a little windy. As a golfer, always checking that forecast, but plenty of action, important action this weekend against Valley City. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
We're back on Hawk Talk. It's been a couple of weeks at least, Coach.
Yep.
We took a couple weeks off, but based on the results from the first outdoor meet, it doesn't seem like the athletes took much time off. Take us through the start of the outdoor season for you.
It's been kind of a hectic one, to be honest. We originally were supposed to go down to Black Hills State, but they had some weather, and it just at the time it just didn't seem like it was going to be very beneficial for us to go down there, and so we decided to hold off a week. And so this past weekend we were not even supposed to go compete anymore. But since we missed that first meet, we really want to get an opportunity in there, and so not really pulled strings, but I kind of just did some digging and shuffling, and came across. Carroll College was hosting a meet, and their coach invited us over, and made it worth our while, and so we decided to venture that way. And plus, for most of the kids that are on the team, most of them are from Montana, so for them they were loving it. They got a chance to see some family, see some people they haven't seen since high school and whatnot. But no, things went well. Obviously, once we got done with indoor, we gave kids a little bit of time to recover, and because obviously the thing that's different about college track and field than it is in high school is that you got way longer time period. Because obviously in college you do indoor and outdoor, where high school is only mostly just an outdoor. And so when you really look at it, you're doing a 6-month season rather than a 2-3 month season that they're used to. So. Giving those time off is what the kids needed, but at the same time, we came back and worked hard and kind of gave ourselves a chance to see where we're at, and we're actually sitting in a pretty decent spot right now. So we had a lot of good things happen at the meet, and we had some things that maybe we had some improvements to work on, but overall, I couldn't argue with the results there. So
got a couple different national qualifiers. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. these outside, or so just from Carroll College meet alone, we had Jose get the B standard in the not 400, but the 110 hurdles, which he went 14.8 seconds in, which, for him it wasn't the best race of his career, but I mean it definitely was at least good enough to hit his standard right away. So we're definitely going to be seeing some improvement out of him down the road. So he did good there. And then we also had Alyssa Charlesworth this qualified for her first nationals ever in the triple jump. She also won the event over at Carroll, and so for her that's a big awesome accomplishment especially as a senior.
Definitely.
So she hit the B standard there with a mark of let me look at my notes really quick.
No problem.
Let me look at my notes to make sure. Basically a jump of 37 feet and 37.5 in the 3/4 quarter jump. So definitely a good jump there out of her. We also had Whitney Lewinberg qualify for the shot put again, and she actually did it on her last throw, which was awesome. And so she threw a 43.5 inch shot, or 43 feet and a half inch throw there, which was it looked beautiful when she threw it. And so just getting those three there right away was kind of a nice little on some things. And then also we also had a few marathoners go compete down at the All-American Marathon down in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and we actually walked away pretty successful there. We had two girls in there, a freshman Brittany Grove and a senior Margaret Martinez. They both hit A standard for the marathon, which for those two that's an amazing job. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Brittany finished second overall in the women's division, and Margaret got fifth, I think, and that was out of 294 female athletes, I think. So, and then obviously Isaac Reese hit a B standard in the marathon, and he actually won the whole entire thing. And so it was for us past weekend. It was pretty good note to walk away from, and so the only thing we got to do now is kind of keep working ahead and hopefully try to get some more A standards than we do B standards.
For those of us that read the articles and what kind of led up to the marathon, it was an interesting journey to get down there. But kind of talk about how it was I think all of their first time running a marathon, and they had the number they had to hit time-wise. So as a coach, is that a little nerve-wracking knowing you're sending them out there kind of fresh, where in track it's kind of the opposite? You do something over and over and over and you go perform it. Is there a little apprehension, nervous watching, seeing how they would finish?
I mean, the thing about the marathon is there's so much room for error, and anything could happen on any day. And so yeah, as a coach, you do get a little unsure about some things and whatnot, and I will give credit to Ben Schroyer. He's been working with those distance kids, and he's been preparing them to be successful. And I mean, a lot of those kids that ran that marathon, they've actually came off of really strong indoor seasons, and their training has truly been preparing them for getting ready for a race. And so I felt pretty confident about what they're capable of, and at the same time, I didn't know what they were capable of doing. So, I mean, it's one of those things, but especially when it comes to marathon running, it's there's a lot of time put into it, and on one given day, you don't know what could come out of it. And we were very fortunate that that day worked out very well for them. And in terms of what we originally were going to have them do a half marathon in Bismarck. I think it was just a week or two before the scheduled plan to do it. The guy who was part of the Bismarck Marathon kind of backed out on us, and because of some implications on some of the planning and scheduling stuff on their end, and so we kind of had to scramble a little bit, and the next closest and best opportunity that we could find was basically North Carolina, and so and unfortunately, that's not a cheap trip by any means, and so when it came down to it, we had to do some fundraising for it, and we had a lot of overwhelming support on it, and so everyone that did help out with that, we're very thankful and grateful that they are willing to make that opportunity possible for those kids. And And so that's kind of how all that stuff led up for that.
Definitely, it seems like all the parts leading up to it had some problems, but the race itself seemed pretty smooth on all ends. Now, leading into our home meet, finally an opportunity for the local fans to come out and see what the track team is all about. So give us the date and times for that and reason to come out.
We will actually be having our home meet on April 15th. It'll be that Friday, and the events will start about right around 11 o'clock. And so, we've been kind of playing it together to get some local teams here so we can have a nice competition. And obviously for us, it's a nice facility. We have a very nice facility here for track and field, and we might as well utilize something that we train on and we practice on. It's something that's nice to be on. So April 15th is the date that you'll want to mark on your schedule, and we're always looking for people to want to come and support us, as well as anybody who's interested in helping out with track meets. Anybody that's ever been a part of a track meet or been involved in a track meet, there's a lot of different things that go on, and to make it run smoothly and operate smoothly. And so anybody who's willing to come help out, we'd be more than welcome. And anybody who wants to come and cheer us on, and we would want that even more.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back on Hawk Talk and joined by one of our track and field and cross country runners. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir, Nate. My name is Isaac Reese. I'm from Shepherd, Montana, and I currently do the marathon and cross country like Nate says.
Now you have kind of an interesting path to the distance running world. Do you want to take the folks through your kind of journey here as a student athlete at DSU?
Yes, sir. I was currently recruited to do football here, but after my sophomore year, I decided to venture to cross country because of my passion for running. And since I cross country, I decided to do a marathon at nationals and told myself I can do it.
Now, this last weekend, you went down to North Carolina for the marathon. First, take us through how you ended up in North Carolina and also your marathon experience or lack thereof.
Well, I would say it hit a brutal ending. I thought was we were told that we could not do the marathon, but then we raised enough money within 2 weeks. From there, we went down to North Carolina, thinking to myself, I had no experience in this marathon. But,
never run one before, right?
I've never ran one before at all. The most I ran was only 20 miles. After that, I told myself, I might as well enjoy it now because I won't come back once I graduate.
And how did the marathon go? Pretty successful venture?
It was very good. For the first 22 miles, it was smooth. The last 4.5 was very tough. I just told myself not to give up, and I'm here now, and hopefully I can go to nationals.
Now you qualified at the B standard, yes, but also won the race as a whole. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So what was your total time to give
it folks? It was 2 hours and 49 minutes and 11 seconds.
Which breaks down to
6 minutes and 28 per mile.
If you're wondering how fast that is, go time yourself in a mile and realize that Isaac did that 26 times. Now, the name of the marathon kind of has an interesting correlation to life after college for you, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm currently enlisted to the Air Force right now. I leave for June 7th, so I have a week after my marathon, and I will be in San Antonio, Texas for basic.
Now, just take us through, in closing, your experience here at DSU, what it's been like. I know you're involved in things outside of athletics, but kind of your journey through all these different sports as well as your DSU experience as a whole. Can you kind of wrap it up for us?
I would say that my DSU experience is what I expected when I first came here. From the professors to the coaches, they've always been there for you. I would definitely recommend going to school to anyone that asks me.
Awesome. Best of luck the rest of this year.
Thank you, Nate.
And into the future.
Yep.
Thank you. We're joined on Hawk Talk now by one of our female track and field athletes. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from.
My name is Alyssa Charlesworth, and I'm from Glendive, Montana.
All right. What year in school are you?
I'm a senior. I'm excited. I'll be graduating in May.
Okay. Now, this past weekend, you did something you haven't quite been able to do
No.
Up until this point. So take us through that first.
I've been really close to qualifying pretty much the last 3 years. I'm super close for indoor and outdoor. And in Helena, I actually did qualify, and I hit B standard with a jump of 11.42. So hopefully I can hit A within the next few weeks. That's kind of my goal.
And just for clarification, jumping which event?
Triple jump.
Triple jump,
Yeah.
right? So take us through kind of what that's been. First off, your journey as a DSU student athlete, and kind of what coming up short, what it pushed you to, and how you were able to get over the edge this year.
It's definitely it's hurdles. I ended up doing Miss Montana right out of high school, so I wasn't even going to go to college.
Okay.
So it was kind of a last minute decision. I ended up coming here because they offered me a scholarship, and I'm glad I did. At that time I had a boyfriend close and got to be close to my family.
Sure.
I'm glad I did though. In the end, my mom got breast cancer my sophomore year, and being here allowed me to be close to her. I ended up living in Bismarck with her as we did like chemo and radiation. At one point I almost transferred. I got a dance scholarship down in California, and then I also blew out my meniscus. So it's been like the battle of deciding whether to stay, whether to quit school. But through track it's been fun. You always come close, you always want to reach that goal. You put so many hours into a sport, not just in college, you did it in high school too. So you have this goal, and to finally actually reach that goal, it feels pretty good.
So it sounds like everything's kind of wrapping up here.
Yes.
Strings are being tied together.
It's a nice topper to the end of the year. It's to like be here for 4 years to actually accomplish what you really started off to do.
What's the future hold for you, and how do you think kind of the ability to overcome the obstacles you've gone through will help you down the road?
As of right now, I don't really have too much planned.
I feel
I'm graduating in May. That's the only goal. But I'll graduate with exercise science and then a minor in dance and coaching. And I do plan on going to grad school. I want to go into dance medicine and then work specifically with dancers. But my only kind of big goal right now is I'm going to do Miss Montana again and hopefully win and then travel the state and talk about breast cancer to other people.
What's the track and field team like? You know, we've had quite a few of you guys on here, and they all seem to really enjoy the team aspect of what you guys do. So can you touch on that and just how you guys get along with each other on and off the track?
Every year is different. When I came in as a freshman, I was one of the only freshman girls to come in. And now we have so many girls on the team, which is crazy. Like, to think that we actually have a very competitive girls team, that there's probably maybe even the chance of more girls going to nationals than guys is just mind-blowing. And then to win conference last year is really cool. So I would have to say it's changed so much. I used to be really involved with the guys, and now it's cool to have girls to actually like support each other, to have a 4x4, have a 4x1. So I would say we definitely have a good support system.
Now, I've been here 4 years. I know from my experience, I've have a couple crazy stories. Let's leave us with one of the craziest or funniest stories? Or something that kind of you'll remember years from now when you look back on these years.
We were talking about knocking ourselves out. I don't remember why, but we're like, yeah, this girl kicked herself in the head, knocked herself out. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, like this. And I just went and kicked myself, knocked myself out on the 40-yard line. I remember that one. That was just like the most bizarre moment. And that was one of our track meets.
I guess that's what, I mean, if they run out of enjoyment. So we know track and field athletes are a little bit on
We're crazy. No, we aren't. We run for fun.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We're definitely a little crazy.
All right, well, thank you for joining us.
Thank
Best
you
of
so
luck
much.
the rest of the way.
Oh, thanks.